Hey guys, welcome to tonight's show. It is the episode number 88 of the Daytripper Photo Show. Tonight we're talking about our gardens. I'm loving mine. I don't know about you guys, but it's perfect weather for gardening. Well, it's been a crazy couple of days in the past, but you know, the water helps, and our gardens are looking great. So on that note, we've been having a lot of folks in the past posting pictures of flowers and plants and so on, so I know that people like pictures of their gardens and their flowers and stuff. So we thought, why don't we do a show talking about some interesting ways that you can make better garden photos. And these guys kind of said, fine, Brian, whatever you want. You're the dictator. You just tell us what to do. And I was like, oh,
fine.
Really? Again?
It's your world, Holmes. We're just living in it.
Well, thank you for being there. How you doing this week, Gabe?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Cool. Any big news? Any happenings? You told us the big news last week.
Yeah, we bought a house that isn't full of mold. At least not at the time of purchase. After yesterday's storm, I hope it's still there. No, I've been insanely busy shooting a lot of bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs recently, which has been a lot of fun because, as I said in the past, they're sort of part wedding, part birthday party, part Lord of the Flies. So they're always a lot of fun.
Well,
yeah, just working away.
I never got to enjoy one myself, but I had a little one. I know I'm going to squirrel a little bit here, but I basically read a paragraph to be a Jew in English at a Reformed synagogue, and then they gave me a cake in the shape of a Torah. That's my bar mitzvah.
Yeah, the ones that I do are a little different.
I would hope so.
They involve a lot of Hebrew and studying and stuff. So,
my brother's was like that. He got the whole thing. Even had the Chinese food catered, and that's when I fell in love with Chinese food, actually.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, way back when my brother was 13. Darren, how have you been this week, man?
I've been busy.
Busy is good?
No. Today I spent most of my day driving back and forth between Winona and what was the other one? Woodcrest, down in Toronto, with two properties that the agent told me would be ready to photograph today at noon, and neither of them were ready.
So you had to wait for them to clean it all up and then go back?
I went to one, then I went to the other one, and then I went to shoot another exterior shot for the agent, and then I went back to the one that they said they needed another half an hour, and then I called the agent. I said, they're going to need at least another 5 hours, and I've already canceled one appointment to suit you. I'm not canceling two, so they're either ready or I'm not doing them today. And they went and helped out, and finally I got them shot.
Yeah, it's days like that.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you start.
I was just going to ask, yell anyways for that?
Well, I mean, I'm probably going to send her a bill for a little extra for my time and for annoying my other agent. But it's, I guess it's not really her fault, but, I think sometimes they take on too many listings and they're trying to hit the market on a certain day and they don't realistically look at whether the people are going to be able to get the house ready. And a house is a big investment. And sometimes I feel kind of bad that I just run in and I'm out of the house in 20 minutes. I like to try to be a little bit more creative, but I don't have time to do that. When things go like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's the last thing you need. You're a busy guy too. I mean, and it's like you say, it's not just yourself; it's all the other agents waiting for you. So it's respect. They have to have respect for everybody's time.
So some days you're the pigeon, some days you're the statue. Today I was the statue.
Oh. Well, good luck for tomorrow, my friend. I hope you are no longer a statue. And don't be a statue on the show tonight either. So, because
tomorrow will be a better day. I'm going up to Aurelia. Bad day in Aurelia is better than a good day in Toronto.
Cool. Well, enjoy. All right. So gardening. I'm not a huge gardener. I know we've built some gardens, and I love the hostas and all the different plants and stuff that we have back here. But I know there's a lot of people in our community who are gardeners. So hopefully some ideas that we talk about in tonight's show are going to give you some ideas and some fun things to try when you're out there shooting. The sun and the light has been so beautiful a couple of days this week, and I've just been, looking out my window, just chomping at the bit to get out there and make pictures. So you know what I did? I went out there with my cell phone and my Olo clip, and that's all I did. That's all I used. And I made some pretty cool shots. So we're going to see some of those in a couple minutes. But first, before we get to our major discussion, just going to have a couple things to say. A big announcement that I'm excited about, I think we all are excited about, which I'll get to in a minute. But first, if you guys like our show, if you've watched it in the past and you think that we actually say something interesting once in a while, click like, click subscribe. Join in the conversation in the Q&A, which is open as we speak, by the way. So if anybody has any thoughts or questions about anything that they'd like to know about shooting photos in the garden, go ahead, pitch in there, and let us know what you're thinking. Also, if you want to check out our YouTube page afterward, if you're watching the show and we're not live and you want to check it out after, subscribe to our channel. That way you'll get updates. Every time there's a new show, boop, it'll pop up and you'll know, because we all like to be in the know. All right.
No.
What's that?
I said no.
No, Darren's always in the know. Big news. This is what everybody's been waiting for. I've been talking about this on social media. I've been excited. I've been telling the world. Nobody's listened, but I've been trying to tell the whole world what's going on with Daytripper, and we just got some great news. We do these weekly photo challenges, and once in a while we'll have some folks and some opportunities to give away some really cool prizes. Well, we just talked to our friends at LensPen. In fact, I have to explain how this happened, because it wasn't, just all a big money-making shilling thing. We have talked about LensPen on previous shows. We've talked about in our cleaning episodes and so on how important it is to clean your lenses and keep all your stuff clean, your sensors and so on. I've done a presentation at Henry's at my store in Newmarket where I cleaned everybody's sensors, and of course we used this LensPen kit, and they caught wind of this and they thought it was really cool. So I actually got an email from one of the senior marketing people, Martin, from LensPen, and he asked if we wanted to have some LensPen stuff so we can give it away on our show and on day trips, let our customers use it and so on. I was like, yes we do. I think that's a very good idea. So guess what, guys? We got swag. We have all kinds of cool stuff from LensPen, and we're going to give a little bit away each week. First thing we're going to give away, and this is going to be for our overall winner, and this week we're going to do a first, second, and third place. Starting in next week, there's going to be a nice prize for everybody, and we're going to divvy it up. One prize, major, nice, fun little package that we're going to give away each week, and therefore so on and so on. This week, we're going to give away, for first place, one of these guys. This is a LensPen cleaning kit. You get the sensor blower, you get a nice microfiber cloth, and you get one of their lens pens, which is cool. Second place, you're going to get a 3 kit. So you get a little lens pen so you can clean the eyepiece, which is something that we don't usually think about doing. Yeah, Maureen, exciting. I know. So inside this little piece here, this gets kind of dirty from your eye schmutz and so on, because we all have eye schmutz. I'm just going to go there. And that's what this little lens pen is for. A lot of people don't know that. Gabe's looking at me like, you are an idiot. I can't hear you. There's no sound from you.
You can hear me though, right?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Yeah, that's by intent at the moment.
Oh, okay. So, second place. And third place. Now, I did agree before we started the show, these guys, I was only going to do one prize, so this is kind of silly of me to be doing the 3, but I'm doing it because I like to live on the edge. Third place, a single lens pen. Very cool. Now, all of these things are available at Henry's stores. You can pick them up anytime, but what you cannot get yet, hopefully this will change, is some of this other cool stuff that they make. When do you give away the DJI Phantom? Never. Although that would be really cool if I got an email from DJI. That'd be pretty sweet. Hint, hint. Anyway, this is called
the winner of that competition would be Mad Mac.
Mad Mac, I think, yeah. Only he would be able to deserve such a prize. So this is called the Outdoor Pro Kit. This is my favorite thing. I wore this all day at work today. I'm going to wear this pretty much every day because it's handy. Just a little kit that comes all together. And I'm kind of a sucker for cases. I don't know about you guys, but I love little cases. I'm just a case kind of guy. So in this little case is a couple lens pens,
nice. A
nice microfiber cloth, and Darren, do you know anything about these things? This is the Fog Clear Dry Anti-Fog Cloth.
Okay, that's sort of like the Rain X stuff you put on the windshield of your car, supposed to prevent fogging and dew and stuff like that.
That's what I'm thinking it's for. I mean, I read it. That's what the instructions say it's for, but I haven't used it. So I was wondering if you have any experience using it, and I can't wait to, because we've actually talked about this when we were doing our astrophotography episodes and shooting in inclement weather and so on. The lenses fog up really easily, and I did a time lapse when I was out in Algonquin, and it fogged right up and it ruined the time lapse. So I was wondering if something like that is all I would need. And do you have any experience with that, Darren?
I think when the dew comes down, you're going to be kind of out of luck. When the dew comes down, settles, I don't think that that's going to help keep the dew off your camera. I think it might keep a little bit of the fog off if your camera is slightly cold and you go into a warmer, humid environment. It may prevent a little bit of condensation on the lens, but only a little bit. I mean, when there's a lot of humidity, it's just going to collect.
It won't do the dew.
It won't do the dew. I'll test it and I'll let everybody know, because
it's not supposed to do the dew. It's supposed to undo the dew.
True. About the dew.
Undo the dew. I think that's their new slogan. Undo the dew. We're gonna give you more updates on how these things work. One thing that bothers me though, this is called the Outdoor Pro, and try walking in the outdoor with that. I'm sorry, that's really annoying.
Just wrap an elastic band around the zipper.
I'll just cut them off. Anyway, one other thing that they're starting to come out with, and a lot of people complained about these lens pens. Actually, we had some people return a lens pen once or twice because they have this black carbon dust on the tip, and they think that it's broken or something. Now they have these invisible carbon lens pens. All the ones in the white package, we're starting to get them in at Henry's, but they're invisible carbon. So, Gabriel, when Jaden grabs your lens pen and starts drawing on the wall with it, it won't bother you that much.
Aren't you supposed to clean off all that black stuff first? That's what I've been doing.
You're supposed to lick it. Yummy. And of course the sensor clear pen, which I'm going to keep in my pocket all the time at the store, because when I clean people's sensors for them, that is what I use. The thing is awesome. It does a very good job. Anyway, I digress.
Very
cool stuff. Very excited. Prizes from Lens Pen and all kinds of like screen cleaners and so excited.
Lens pens are, they're not the sexiest of all products. When you're like, oh, I want to get new gear, I'm gonna get a lens pen. But it's the thing that should be, it should be in every bag. I use it before every single one of my shoots. I clean all my lenses, all my cameras, all my surfaces, everything like that with the lens pen and the little blower thing. And usually halfway through a wedding, you get a piece of dust on something. It's a perfect thing to have right at your ready. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. You always want to make sure your lenses are clean. I know I shoot the wrestling. I say it 1,000,001 times. There's this one person who shoots with us, and every photo you see is just speckled with spots.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a point-and-shoot camera. She does okay with it. That's not the point. The point is clean your lens.
Right.
Anywho, with the lens pen. Thank you, lens pen.
And if you got to clean your sensor, they do have the sensor lens pen. I got to find where it went. This is a little loopy thing.
Oh yeah.
Magnifying.
That's the whole kit I was talking about. That's the kit that I used when I was doing it at the store.
Oh, okay.
And it comes with this other lens pen that I just held up a few seconds ago.
Yeah, that thing's awesome. That saved my bacon a number of occasions, because I was cleaning the sensor one day, and then I think I got too close to the edge, and I must have picked up some grease or something, because it started smearing the snot out of the sensor. And then I tried to use the alcohol, the liquid, and that just left streaks on it. And I tried cleaning it again, dry clean and a wet clean, and I was just getting streaks and streaks. Took the sensor lens pen, cleaned it all up.
Perfect for that. Actually, I had the same problem when I was doing the sensor clean at the store. There were two people. One person actually was blowing into his sensor, and he was just disgusting in there. And I've had to clean it with the swab, but I knew after the swab I'd have to use the lens pen to get rid of the streaks off, like you're saying. So Maureen says she got a set as a stocking stuffer for Christmas. So they're awesome. Yeah. And that's the cool thing. You're talking $15, $20. I mean, as Gabriel says, this is something that everybody should have, and it's not that $1,000 item that you got to go out and spend all this crazy money on.
I have like 5 or 6 of them. I have, because I have like 10 camera bags, right? I have all different types of camera bags, and I've got a lens pen in each one of them. And so
There you go.
Every time I buy a new piece of gear, I just throw a lens pen in there and throw them in somewhere. I've got one in the center console of my car. I've got one in my visor, just because I'm a dirty boy. Sometimes you gotta clean.
However, I did have a problem with some water spots on my lens that the lens pen, just a regular lens pen, did not get off.
Did you breathe on it first?
You're not supposed to. That's where you're supposed to use the lens pen, right?
No. The first thing you do is you use the lens pen, and for any bits that you can't get off, you breathe on the lens, and then you use the pen again in circular motion.
Okay, because Ross mentioned about our breath being mildly acidic, and that could destroy the coating on the lens and or filter.
Nah. That's exactly what they say in the instructions to do.
Instructions?
Because instructions are always right.
So I was going to say that's what I had to do. I had to breathe on it, and then it came off. So if that's in the instructions, then here's a note to everybody: read the instructions.
Exactly. It does. It says it right there. And that's the thing. Like, it's a lens pen. It's a stick that you literally take the cap off, you rub it on your glass. That's what it is. It's nothing really fancy. You can't think to make a mistake. But read the instructions, because there's information in it that's pretty cool. Anyway, lens pen. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And I hope the folks that submit photos to our photo contests and win these things appreciate it too, because they are very handy. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes. The pandas?
Potatoes. Pandas.
Pandas. That's our new squirrel. Panda. Anyway. Okay, guys, let's talk about what do you... Oh, squirrel. Let's go squirrel for a second. You look squirrel.
I've been told that I have ADHD, but I don't think I... Hey, look! Squirrel!
Oh, speaking of squirrels, we had a squirrel building a nest in our tree in the back, and it blew it right out of the tree.
Into the garden?
Into the garden. The whole nest, the squirrel.
Okay, well, then you can talk about it as long as it blew it into the garden.
Otherwise, what would it blow it into?
I don't know, but we've got to be talking about the garden now.
Oh, yes, the garden. Nice segue. Back to the garden. There's so many things you can do taking pictures in your garden. Now, there's some really neat things that you've seen. There's classic photos that you see, a nice flower. I know my mother-in-law one day wanted me to take some pictures of just some flowers so she can frame them in a small 4x6, 5x7, put them on the wall in a nice pattern. Flowers always sell. Really, pictures of flowers. A good, clear photo of flower is something that when you look at it, it catches your eye. It's bold, it's very interesting, colorful, and the detail you get in flowers is so beautiful. Composition is extremely important. Darren, do you have any tips on good composition for a flower photo?
For composition,
Single things, wouldn't you think?
The rule of odds. Like if you're trying to capture flowers and you're getting 2 or 3 of them, try to get 3, 5, 7, 9. If you need to, you can go in and clone some out. But I think the biggest thing that people forget when they're shooting in the garden is about the lighting. And I got a screen share here.
Cool.
Of a couple example photos that I did last year, and I posted it on the community. So if you dig back to last year sometime, when was this photo taken? I've just pushed the I button here, and it tells me it was taken May 2013, so just over a year ago. Because that couldn't be June 5th, or January 5th. Well, last year maybe.
Yeah, we did have a bit of a snap.
But this is the photo with the diffuser, and this is the photo without the diffuser. So if you're not using some sort of a diffuser, then you're going to get very harsh lighting. It's going to be overblown in the highlights, and the shadows are going to be too dark. And all I did between these 2 photos is I just threw the deflector disc, and I wasn't trying to get creative other than controlling the lighting.
Mm-hmm. What a difference it is, eh? All the highlights are toned down. You can see inside the flower better.
Yeah, and I can even do the split screen and oh, what did I click on here? I'm so used to doing, and
Shift F?
No, I want to do the comparison before and after, but I don't think it'll allow me to compare 2 photos that way. I just need to zoom in, and so I can control the zoom out. There we go.
Nice.
A huge difference, and all you really had was just a scrim, right? A diffuser.
Yeah, one of the. I think it was from a 5-in-1.
Okay, just a disc.
Or a 7-in-1.
It's handy.
So you've got the reflector, you've got the skim, you've got whatever you need.
That's actually one of the things I was going to talk about in some accessories for shooting, is have a nice diffuser.
And it can even be have somebody hold up a big piece of cardboard to put you in the shade, or use a bed sheet, something like that. Hopefully not a pink bed sheet or a red bed sheet, that'll color the lighting.
Yeah. Actually, one of the things I noticed, I was out shooting the other day when it was really beautiful sun and it was just going down. It was really hitting my flowers beautifully. I took some photos and the reds were extremely saturated. One of the things to get rid of that would have been use a diffuser, soften that light going through.
So we've got a question, what is a diffuser? So if I back up a little bit here, this was my little diffuser.
Wow, oh, so it wasn't one of the small ones.
Okay, so no, it wasn't one of the small ones.
So everybody just carry that around in your pocket and whip it out when you need it.
It folds up not too bad. I've carried this along on a couple of day trips when we've been out, and I just never really got into anyone doing macro photography and wanted to try it out, so I stopped carrying it around.
Yeah, it's kind of big to carry around if it doesn't get used. That's for
sure. It
sure.
just clips on your belt, other than hitting me in the leg as I'm walking it. It's not very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are going out specifically to do macro photography, then that's I think if you just buy the bigger diffuser like that, it was about $50-$60.
The good ones are about 100, and the Cameron or the generic brands are usually around 50 or so.
And the nice thing about these is that there's no firmware updates. They're not going to get replaced by a better model. Right? You're going to buy it once. You're going to buy it for life. So if you blow $100, then it's an investment for the rest of your life.
And the cool thing is, as you said, that's a 5-in-1, right?
Yeah. And the cool thing is that you can add to that. You can get a stand for it and a holder that'll hold it. So if you're trying to do it all yourself, if you don't have someone else to help you out. And again, these are items that at first you say, well, $80 for an arm, with a couple of clips on it. But yeah, it's specifically designed to hold these things, and it's an investment for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I know a photographer that does a lot of macro photography and a lot of flower photography. He buys the little reflectors. They're about that big, and for each picture of a tulip or something like that, he'll have 6 or 7 of those positioned. He just buys the little C clamps, and you can just strap them to other trees and or just to the ground around it, and just have your light bouncing around. And then if you need a little bit more light, he just takes little pieces of cardboard and wraps tinfoil around it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the nice thing about working in small environments, is that you can get really good reflectors, but then if you need even like a lot of professional food photography shoots, most of the bouncers that they're using are just cardboard with tinfoil around them. So it can be a very useful little tool for that.
Thing though you do have to be careful about if you're using tinfoil is it's reflective. It's not softening the light. So that's where you're going to end up, with too much glow on certain things if you're not careful. Don Komarechka pipes up. He says, an umbrella works like a charm, and you should always have one in your car anyway, especially these days. It's very handy.
I had it yesterday.
It's actually funny you say that, Don. And of course, Jen asks what color umbrella. And the reason I say it's funny is because at Henry's we had these umbrellas that were orange. And when you pop them up, now they're carbon fiber stems and they're fiberglass tines, and they actually are quite good quality. But they're orange, right? So everybody would come in and say, "What do you have umbrellas for? You're Henry's." He goes, "Well, it's a white balance thing. It's for fluorescent light adjustment." And counteract, but no, it's not. It's just orange. And Don says an uncolored white umbrella or black if you plan on dimming the natural light to use flash more creatively. There you go. And a lot of really cool things you can do with umbrella as well is snoot the light. So if the umbrella is not fully extended, you can compress it and shine a flash into it and really direct light to a smaller area when it's closed up like that. Very good.
I've heard photographers say that apparently a Pringles can make an okay snoot, but I don't know, it sounds crazy to me.
I know, there's some shenanigans there. I don't know anybody who would do the Pringles can trick.
Yeah, no one I know would stoop to that level.
Hello, Twist Minion.
Actually, it's a really good point, and we should talk about it. It was on a previous episode when Don was on. He had a Pringles container, and you cut the corner off at the end, and you put a little bit of wax paper on there, and use that as a flash diffuser, or like a chute, so to speak.
Can you see if you can get Pringles to sponsor us?
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
Keep mentioning it. And Juan, hola, ¿cómo está, amigo? All right, yeah, I took Spanish in high school.
Actually, if you're looking for one of those things, you go into Shoppers Drug Mart. Funny that you can buy this kind of, crud food for your body in a otherwise healthy drugstore, but they sell the Life brand, no-name Pringles look-alike chips.
You know what? Any container you have. I've got one in the closet right there, and it's got a lens attachment. I tried to make it into a macro lens. Worked out okay. Now, when we're talking about flower photography, are we exclusively talking about macro?
Doesn't have to be macro, just getting in close. Ron mentions about cutting a flower and taking it indoors, but I think my neighbor might have gotten upset if I started cutting off her flowers.
I was just going to say, Daytripper Photo does not condone the actions that Ron Katz is discussing right now. No, by all means. Actually, Ross would go to the store and buy really intricate-looking, lilies and lots of really interesting flowers. I'm not a flower guy, and so he would condone that. Just go to a flower store and pick up a little bunch of assorted flowers and use those.
And Don has mentioned that, in the price of, a $2,000 macro lens, you can go to the store and buy, some nice little flowers for $5 or $6. Take them home, put them inside where you can control the lighting, and get some really nice shots of it. So, it doesn't have to be expensive or time-consuming to do this.
Absolutely. Now, something new and unique. I've seen a lot of folks putting nice textures on their flower photos. I know that Ross has talked about it, build up a bank of texture photos. So textures of a wall, textures of brick, textures of bark off of a tree, stone, concrete, marble. What's
Squirrels.
that? Squirrels. Doors, yeah, doors. All these textures are great to layer over flower photos sometimes and selectively control what part of that flower has texture and what doesn't. It can give a different feel to it as well, more of a composite idea, but definitely something that could be interesting. Now, what kind of cameras do we need, guys? Does it have to be a high-end black one?
It has to be a black camera, yeah.
Racist. You know what? That's really what it comes down to. It doesn't have to be any specific camera. Point and shoots do an okay job. This little Fuji right here, yes, the battery's still fully charged. It's been sitting there for about 6.5 months. Don't use it much, but it has a macro mode.
Is this the kind of doors texture Gabriel was talking about?
The beautiful flowing hair. Oh, Morrison would be proud. He's involved in our conversation right now. But this little button right here, oh look, it shows me. Isn't that fantastic? It looks like a little flower. I don't know if my camera's working, but there you go. That's the macro mode. And if you're taking pictures of flowers with a point and shoot, go ahead and hit it. It does a very good job of getting you in a little bit closer than most other lenses would let you do. And that's really the thing. When you're using a point and shoot camera and you're trying to get that look, where that first flower is really in focus and it's very blurry in the background, one of the ways to achieve that is perspective. Another way is sensor size. Well, little point and shoots kind of go against that whole sensor size rule, don't they, Darren?
My perspective is if it costs more than $200, you paid too much for a point and shoot camera.
Yeah. You know what? Your cell phone can replace those. I'm going to go on that. Your cell phone can replace the $200 cameras.
But the one tip that I picked up, and again, this gets back to reading the manual, is that with most of these average point-and-shoot cameras, not the super zoom cameras or any of the other, super deluxe ones, but with most of these regular cameras, like the one you were showing, you zoom out to the widest angle setting.
Yes.
You physically get close. Otherwise, the camera won't focus, and you'll end up not getting as close a picture. So you can't zoom in on the average standard point-and-shoot camera.
Excellent tip. Excellent tip. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's absolutely true. You want to go wide and move in close, and that's going to give you the shallow depth of field because you're getting in close, which was my point. And yeah, it'll be best. It'll be able to focus. Yeah.
If you have, you were talking about camera phones earlier. If you have an Android phone the actual Google camera app has a feature called lens blur. So what you do is you line up what you're taking a picture of. Say it's classic rubber ducky here, and you take the picture, and then it'll instruct you slowly move the phone up like that. And what it does is it uses that information to create a lens blur, like a shallow depth of field effect, so that this is perfectly in focus and everything behind it is super blurry. And I think there's something similar like that on the iPhone. So they're realizing that because their sensor sizes are so small and because they don't actually have real physical zoom, they're coming up with different ways to create that shallow depth of field effect, and it works pretty well.
Very cool. That's really neat. Henry's is starting to carry phones now, and I've been doing some research into some phones that are going to be coming out shortly. And yeah, some pretty cool stuff with camera technology and phones. Mm-hmm. In fact, we're going to get to cell phones a little bit more in just a sec, but one thing you should always remember when you're taking pictures, have some sort of stabilization device. It really helps. Get it out of your hands if you can. So tripods, gorilla pods, clamps, use Wi-Fi from your phone to control the camera. It'll stop some shake. There's a lot of really... A bottle of wine. Sure.
No, you place the camera on the top of the bottle of wine, Bryan.
Oh, okay, cool. That's more my speed. Lots of cool ideas, and actually the Wi-Fi idea is something that I think is underused. A lot of these cameras these days that you buy have built-in Wi-Fi, and if you can just set it down on the ground and use your phone to actually zoom in and out and even control settings on some and take the picture right from there, if it stops the shake altogether on your camera and gives you full control of where you focus by just tapping on the screen. So Wi-Fi is something you can definitely utilize for that. As far as cell phones go, which kind of leads us to that, did you guys know that if you use your headphone remote control, you know, everybody has those headphones now where you can actually use it to answer questions and stuff or to make phone calls, that actually takes photos as well. So click the button on your remote control, and it can take a photo. Now, I didn't know that until recently, and I was taking pictures of my cat, of course, because I always take pictures of my cat. And I just held the phone over there with the remote, and as soon as I got it composed, click, click, click. Yeah. It's so much easier than, especially with an iPhone, which I've left at work, and I feel naked now because I haven't had it all night. Having to hit that button on the side, it shakes the camera, you get blurred. I just gave that one back to you. Oh, I feel horrible about my phone.
Yeah, the headphone thing is it's good for duck face selfies. So, yeah.
Hey, everybody call Bryan's cell phone right now, and that way when he gets to work to check his phone to see how many calls he's missed, you'll see like 8,000 missed calls.
Yeah, I feel horrible already. I was expecting one call tonight, and I can't even email them because all I have is them on my phone.
Yeah, but you can check your voicemail and see if they left you a message.
I can.
Do you have your contacts synchronized with your... You don't... Okay, never mind. We're going to get you on Android. Everything will be fine.
As soon as I can. Okay. I'm trying, okay?
Yeah. Trying. Don't worry. We'll get you
3 is in my future. Anyway, squirrel.
So, yes.
Focus and exposure. Now, with my phone, I can click on a button and it'll focus somewhere. With certain apps, I can click on a button and focus somewhere, but click a second place and expose to that. So if I'm taking a picture of a flower and I find that the light behind it is what's making my exposure happen, I can focus on the flower and click on a neutral area and it'll give me better exposure. That's the thing that I don't think everybody thinks about. So that could really help if you're taking pictures of flowers. Are there any additional tools in Android that I don't know about as far as like shutter speeds and that kind of stuff?
There's some cool stuff coming down the line pretty soon. Hopefully Google I/O, which is in 6 days. Those are my 2 countdowns. 6 days to Google I/O, 56 days till we move into our house.
Nice.
And I'm hoping they're going to announce it at I/O, but there's a lot of rumors about raw support and fully manual controls coming to Android cameras. And they just revamped the camera app with a little bit of extra code, so I'm hoping they're going to flip a switch for that, which will be fantastic.
Be nice if they fix the phone, though.
What's wrong with the phone?
It's retarded. You search for contacts, sometimes the search icon's at the bottom, sometimes it's at the top. I've got 5 real estate agents, they all share the same office, and it always tells me that some other agent is calling. I can't program in the one agent.
It goes alphabetically by name, so whoever is first on the list will show up.
Oh, so you're telling me that Nuella comes before Betty?
Apparently.
Okay, so we all know that Darren has problems with phones, okay?
I don't have a problem with phones. People have a problem developing phones that actually are smart. So every time I want to search for something, it's always in the lower left-hand corner.
Whenever somebody says that, I
Tap
remember...
on a contact. I want to see their number to choose whether I want to call their cell, work, or home number. But sometimes if you tap over on the right, it calls them directly, and sometimes you are a little on the left, it brings you up that list.
Every time I hear people talking that way, I remember back to when I lived in Vermont in high school. What phone? You had to go home and you were tethered to a wall.
Anyways, we scroll.
Yeah, exactly. So, accessories to phones. Now, again, Henry's is starting to carry phones, and there are a crap ton of accessories for phones. Every single day we get 10 more interesting accessories.
You're starting to become a real phony person, Brian.
Good one, good one. Of all of the accessories that I've seen at the store, the only things that I really think are functional are ways to hold your phone, tripods, things like that, stands, whatever, or little lenses. Oops. That was my Olo clip.
Functional.
Yeah, right. Now they're making all different kinds of these things. This is actually a little lens.
Does it work on the Android phone?
They make them for Android. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You can get all kinds. This is
Does
a
it
3
work on a BlackBerry? I don't care, but
no. I have a story about BlackBerry in just a sec. So there's fisheye, and if you unscrew there's wide angle on the other side. If you unscrew the wide angle, it turns into a macro.
Those little fisheye lenses would be great in the garden. You get up really close to the flower, and then the wide-angle lens will make, the fisheye lens will make everything in focus, and you get your one flower in amongst all the other flowers in the garden. You get some really cool shots. So if you don't have the money to spend on a regular fisheye lens for your camera, then getting one of those attachments for your phone can really get you that kind of effect. And who knows, you may really get inspired by it and want to go out and buy the real one.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to do a screen share here and show you what I did. I mentioned that I was out playing in the garden. So here's just a couple shots. This is taken with the wide-angle lens. And you can see how right in front's very nice and clear. Kind of nice. Did well with the colors. I'm surprised, actually.
Your fence needs painting.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Darren. Come on over and do it. What else here? Of course, my computer is redonkulously slow as I'm trying to advance to the next photo. Here we go. This is the macro. And these are unedited, by the way. These are in the camera this way. So, did a very good job. And I actually had to push the phone lens into the flower to get the shot.
I think you should do some selective color and enter that into the Newmarket Camera Club. Ross would love you.
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he? He would probably shoot me. Here's another nice little macro shot. The detail that the phone can get is phenomenal. And I'm going to exit out of here for a quick second to find one shot. Actually, the photo I used is the trailer photo for this the show. Of course, now I'm going way too far. It's pictures of my cat and my phone with my camera with my new rig, my new monopod. Yeah, I'm so excited. Anyway, here we go. This one right here. Sorry. There we go. Isn't that a beautiful photo, everybody? Isn't that just great?
Absolutely black.
A black
Absolutely.
at night.
Just a
Good lighting.
completely black screen.
There you go. So
nice,
I just think it did a really nice job with the color. Yeah. It did a great job with the sharpness. Of course, the Hosta leaf is. This is as Darren was saying. This is the ultra wide. The fisheye lens I used for this. I thought the shape of the Hosta leaf really worked well with a fisheye lens, and yeah, it did a great job. And again, this just literally snaps over the top of your camera, and you can get in close, get great detail, great color.
And it's giving me allergies, so we got to stop talking about flowers.
Okay, we're moving on. Don't want Darren getting sick. So yeah, that was just a simple cell phone, not much to it. Now, if you want to take it to that next level and you want to get into the SLR style camera, some things that are very important you could use. One, you could use flash. A lot of people don't think to use flash too much. I was outside again with my SLR this time, and I started trying to play with flash to make the sun look like it was coming from behind one of the flowers. And it ended up just washing it out, and I didn't really do a very good job, and I felt a little bit rushed and ended up not really getting great results. But what I found was really cool was when I took that flash and I moved it around to some of the ornaments that we had in the yard. I'll do another screen share here, if I can. And by using the flash, I was kind of trying to mimic the sun, as I guess you're supposed to do with flash.
You'd need a nuclear warhead to mimic the sun, but those tend to be rather hard to get.
Technically.
They frown on you using them in
tried.
Neighborhoods.
That's true, although with the weather we've been having, people might not realize. So, I don't know if that's up there yet for everybody.
Yep.
But it's just one of the suns that Shelly's mom loves to have in our backyard. We have some suns and stars and things like that. And I just held the flash up to the top left, draping it down, and I was able to make it look like the sun was totally on the other side of the fence. So there was no sun hitting it at all. It was totally in shadow. And of course, it brought out the shadow detail around the face of it, the structure of the face. Having the light drape across the side of it gave you a little bit more definition and contrast.
You know what you needed to add to that?
What?
An orange gel. Give it that nice warm.
That would have been good, yeah.
Warm glow.
Absolutely true. A little CTO gel on top of the flash. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Perfect.
Maybe a half CTO or 3/4.
CTO stands for color temperature orange, doesn't it?
It does.
Very good. Well, I could have, because I have those gels. I just didn't bring them outside, but next time I will. Very good tip. Again, great tips. So, flash. Diffusers. Darren already talked about using diffusers. Hold it between the sun and what you're shooting. Soften that light really nicely. Tripod. Very handy to use a tripod. Otherwise, you're going to get nothing but shake, especially if you're trying to do a longer exposure, trying to slow your shutter speed down. I've been doing a lot of slow shutter with flash for my wrestling photography and other things, and I love having a little bit of motion in the shot with sharpness, so to play around with those kinds of things is fun. Remote control. Use a clicky click. There's all kinds of remotes. Darren, your remote control is probably the best remote control on earth. Have you got that thing handy?
This one here?
Yeah.
It's falling apart.
What is that?
It's my remote control that...
Oh, the Hano?
The antenna broke off, so I got to glue it back on, and it's busted, so I pull it too hard.
Oh, no, I was talking about your Cam Ranger.
Oh, my Cam Ranger. No, I keep my camera bag elsewhere, otherwise I might forget it in the house before I leave.
Oh, but the Cam Ranger is a phenomenal resource for using to tether and to use it to get your hands off the camera. Gabriel, any thoughts so far? Anything that you can think of that's different?
Yeah, I like the what you were mentioning earlier about the flash. I know a big thing with flower photography is shooting in black and white, and because I shoot a lot of portraits and family portraits and models and stuff outside, so you can always move them around to make the sun work with you, but it's harder to do that with flowers. So if you bring the flash like you did to create your artificial sun and make the sun look like it's coming from wherever you want it to, and shoot in black and white, the shadows add a lot of drama and a lot of feeling to the image. When you're shooting something so colorful, but you're doing it in black and white, it's the shadows that are going to bring the image out.
So true, so true.
Mm-hmm.
Texture and shadow and contrast for black and white is key, and very good point. Excellent to use flash for that. There's another really cool thing that a buddy of ours does who's already kind of chimed in on our conversation tonight, Don. I see him do these photos quite often, where you have the picture of water droplets and then flowers behind it, or spider webs with water droplets in it and then flowers behind it and other things reflecting in the water droplets.
Mm-hmm.
My computer is redonkulously slow right now, or else I'd probably pull one of Don's photos up and share it with people. But I don't want to crash the show, so I'm trying to be good. Is the show still on?
The show's still on, but you're way delayed.
Yeah, I could feel it. I don't know what's going on. I got really slow things going on right now.
Did you reboot your computer before?
Yes, Mommy, I rebooted my computer before.
It's an Apple. You're not supposed to reboot them. They don't have memory holes and suck the life out of memory like Windows does.
I think I just have too many windows open and stuff.
Minimize.
So I closed a bunch.
Control Q on everything but the Hangout.
Yeah, good luck with that. I don't control Q at all during the show. Okay, so remote control, tripod, diffusers, flash, modifier flash. Use the color temperature orange gel if you're going to be shooting to simulate sun. Use different gels if you're just trying to get funky with it. If you're trying to go black and white, try a red gel.
And if you want something really funky, use some hair gel and shoot people in the garden.
Okay, I have no idea what you mean by that, but
Hair gel. Put up the spiky hair and bring them out into the garden and take photographs of people in the garden.
Hey, there's another twist to it. Go for it.
You know, nice backdrop.
One picture that somebody brought into the Newmarket Camera Club, I think it was, for one of the monthly competitions. They took a beautiful flower that you would normally, try and shoot into, and they just shot the whole thing from behind. And like that one picture, the couple of pictures that you showed of your garden, you were laying down, shooting up. So your angle and your perspective and getting a picture that you wouldn't normally see it from an angle that you wouldn't normally see it is what's going to make the picture interesting. If you just walk out to your garden, stand there, in my case, 6'2", or the average person 5'8", 5'9", shoot down, you're going to get a picture that everybody's seen 1,000 times.
Exactly. It's all about perspective and lighting, good composition, and think about what you're trying to do. I mean, there's so many interesting things. One of the things that Darren always talks about is when photos are too busy, when there's too much going on. You mentioned use the rule of odds. Have 3, 5, 7, something like that. My preference is always something just solitary, or which is an odd number, or maybe 3 things, a small grouping. If you have too much in a shot, it becomes very distracting, unless you're using the lines and the shapes to tell the story. So just remember that. You don't want to have just a picture of, hey, look, there's my garden, unless you're sending it to your mother to look at the stonework sheet that you've done. Or usually want to get in a little bit closer.
You should always send a picture to your mother.
Always send a picture to your mother. Mothers love it. And remember to keep your stuff clean. Clean your stuff. If you have dirt, now this is going to sound like a little plug, but it is. I didn't know this, but these cloths that LensPen uses for these things, this stuff here is actually supposed to clean your camera. It's not just for lenses and screens and things like that. It's actually supposed to clean your camera, and they're washable. So if you have a lot of dirt and grit all over the thing, you can literally, actually they sell it as what they call a lens clean, micro clear cloth. They are literally built so that you can clean off schmutz, dust, dirt, everything off of everything, not just the lenses. And then when they're dirty, you just throw it in the washing machine, unwarm, and then you let it air dry or light dry, and they're great. So these are kind of things where you can clean everything. So it's always good to make sure your stuff's clean.
Can you clean the dirt off a politician with one of those?
Most of them. Rob Ford, no. In fact, don't put a lens near Rob Ford because you'll probably walk into it. But that's a different conversation. Did you guys see that? I just saw that for the first time.
Saw what?
The footage of Rob Ford. He was walking through a crowd, and he literally walked face first right into the lens, and he was like, "Oh, my head, my head." I'm surprised it hurt. But anyway. Rob Ford. Coming back in office. Limited powers.
No. We do not talk about. I got into a conversation of politics and religion with my hairstylist, which I never try to do, and I kept on trying to change the topic, and I ended up getting like the worst haircut of my life. Because I'm wearing a hat for the next 3 weeks. It's terrible.
Oh no.
Never religion or politics.
No. So let's keep on going. Let's talk about some photos. I mean, we've talked about garden photos. And you know what? A lot of the photos submitted for our challenge were somewhat garden photos. So, little segue. Gabriel, do you want to do a screen share?
Sure. Let me fire this puppy up.
All right.
There.
So we've got excellent photos this week. We're going to give away first through third, and of course there's an honorable mention. because there's a lot of really good photos.
Mm-hmm. So let's
and a lot
start
of
off
different
with
twists to the theme.
So the theme was to take a picture that looked like it was in a foreign land, right?
That's right. But it wasn't. And it's awkward looking at myself right now on the screen.
See my screen share?
Your screen share is sharing us. Actually, me, to be specific.
Yeah, I see Bryan twice.
Yeah, look at that.
Now I see me. Now I see Bryan. Now I see me.
Oh, we're so confused.
Okay, I have a feeling I may have done that wrong.
No, you didn't. I think Google messed up.
No, can't be the Goog. Okay, how's this now?
That looks much better.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now first of all, thank you everybody who's sticking with the show tonight. I know that we went a little long-winded about the whole garden thing, but the photo contest challenge thing is always a lot of fun.
Me, it was value packed.
Value pack?
Value packed. It was packed with valuable information. So
Twas.
let's, as we have about 6 minutes left, let's go through them a little bit quickly. So
Sure.
this one I absolutely love. This is by Ron Katz, and he saw this gentleman. I think it was in Newmarket.
Taste of Little Italy.
Taste, yeah. And
that was in Toronto.
This is in Toronto, okay. And it's especially poignant right now as I've been teaching my son how to do the Live Long and Prosper, and we practice it every morning on the way to school. So seeing this come up was perfect timing. This is, I mean, except for like the lines on the ears and stuff like that, this is a bang on impression. He's got the eyebrows. He's got the hair perfect, and he's really got that Vulcan/Romulan look. That was really, that's one of the better ones that I've seen.
The only thing with this is it looks like he's about ready to cry.
No, I see the stern emotional discipline of the Vulcan people.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But apparently he wasn't too fond of Ron taking his picture either.
Yeah, well, you walk out looking like that, somebody's going to take a picture. So
I agree.
Well,
I agree.
I think it was the case of not giving him any money for taking the photo.
I think if you were to say to them, for you to dress up like that and me to not take your picture would be illogical.
The
needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
You have to be logical about things like that.
Then we have Rhonda's, which was, I love this one. This one's a heck of a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, but I'm concerned that the spaceship has been skewered by the mountain.
It's resting on there.
It is.
They have the alien spaceships have a very weird nodal point. So you think it would be in the middle here, but it's actually off to the left. Well, we say left, they say Kloktar, but whatever.
Oh, you're a man of such wisdom.
I love this. It was fun. So it's the old Wonderland, which we all know and love, and then it's getting the little visitors. So
I think it's
well composed.
It's a great twist to the theme. I mean, UFO over Wonderland. It's like, I love it. Funny photo. Thank you, Rhonda.
We got a couple kick back to the oldies. Actually, I like this one because I've been looking at the Fiats recently. As my next car, I'm trying to find basically the smallest car on the road, and the Fiat is one of the contenders. And that thing, I mean, it's so small it almost looks like there's no back end.
You want a smart car if you want the smallest car.
Yeah, I'm tossing
better price, better fuel mileage. The Fiats are a tremendously overpriced Italian piece of glitz.
Get a CRX, you'll be happier. Anyway, I'm loving the texture and the HDR work that Lori's doing these days. I am very impressed. Yeah, well, it's totally different than what I would do, and I like that. I like the sky is actually controlled. It's not pitch black in the sky. The texture and the detail on the car is really nice. It brings out a lot of the reflection and the different shades of color.
What kind of car is this?
I have no idea.
Blue.
It's a 420. No, I have no idea what it is.
It's interesting how the car is so tack sharp, but you got some ghosting up in the trees here. So
HDR has a hard time.
Yeah.
With movement in the tips of trees.
Or just mist, yeah. But that's nice. I like that. I love the light bouncing off the back rim here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
This one is fantastic. I absolutely love this one. Downtown Toronto. I think he was saying it's on Spadina. Yeah, and I remember one time I was going down to Chinatown, and I was looking for something for my girlfriend's at the time, her parents, and walked up to some guy, and I'm like, excuse me, I'm trying to find this store here, and he looks at me and goes, yeah, sorry, man, I don't speak English. And then we talk about it. So it can be very much like a foreign land. Hostile and unwelcoming. But yeah, you have to look really hard to realize that's actually in Toronto.
Yeah. I thought that the first time I walked through that area, I was just like, wow, I was overwhelmed. Of course, I just come from Vermont, so everything overwhelmed me.
Foreign English country garden. I can take his word for it. I've never watched Downtown Abbey, so I don't know what an English garden looks like.
Yes.
But,
okay, now, I always love Fred's photos, and I also love the fact that Fred loves getting some tips when we have them. So a tip that I have for these photos, and it's a theme for his photos, is they are a little bit bright, don't you think, guys? A little bit on the overexposed side?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe taking a shot like this, dial down your exposure by 0.3, or use a polarized filter.
Says here exposure bias 0.33, so it looks like it may have been overexposed.
Plus by 0.3.
Yeah. So yeah, it probably looks like you got a little bit of clipping along here, possibly, maybe a little bit up here. And if you bring it down a little bit, it's going to really make those colors pop a little bit more.
Right. And of course, like I say, a polarized filter could help get rid of some of the glare and bring out some of the richness and color as well, and maybe a little bit more detail up in the sky. But otherwise, yes.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Jim, take a foreign-looking photo. Art on the street in Southampton. Oh, hold it. But this is in Southampton.
Is it? Yeah. We also have to make sure we check out dates. I know that there was a few dates on some of the photos that were shot previous to our challenge.
Okay. No, this looks fine.
Okay.
But is Southampton? I don't know where that is. Is it local, or is this actually taken far away?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Nobody knows.
I think in his story this was local. This was like a street fair or something local.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's nice. Nice and colorful.
I guess everybody has their own preference on editing style.
Yeah, I like that. I like that soft effect.
And that's the thing. You're gonna find it's a tear between who does and who doesn't like the effect. It's very glowy.
Negative clarity if you're just doing it in Lightroom.
Is that what it is?
That would be one way to do it, yeah.
Okay.
It's that effect is great for brides and children and stuff like that.
And maybe to give it that southern kind of, warmth kind of a look.
Yeah.
Like a
this
Louisiana.
Is one of my personal favorites. I think that's absolutely adorable. Just the whole setup and the attention to detail and the little ladder going up to the second floor and everything. Little mailbox and stuff that it looks like a little foreign land within our own land.
It looks like a little hobbit.
Can you move your mouse on top of the mailbox and zoom in, Gabriel?
Whoops.
Okay. Yeah, I did this on my computer. I think that cropping it like this gives it a little bit more pizzazz.
Right.
The reflection in the water is not adding anything to it, and it's not adding any context that this is a miniature.
That's a great point.
Having a footprint there somewhere, and you could take a baby shoe just so that it isn't oversized. Could be another way that you could say that this is really a miniature rather than just someone that took a photo of something that looks like it may be miniature.
Have like a candy bar wrapper or a pop can in the corner, like that.
Yeah, a big can of Coke sitting in there. Yeah, I like that though. That's a really cool effect.
And the exposure is fantastic. The color is great. It looks very Hobbitville.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me, Squirrel, of a place called Marigold Springs up in Aurelia. I think I'm going to go check out, see if it still exists.
What's that like?
A guy that's created this fantasy land just for something to do.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Marigold Springs.
That's what that reminded me of.
Huh.
Have we already done? Yes, we did. We already did. So Rhonda's got another one, couple submissions here. I'll just do this one here, as we've already covered one of hers. But this one, I was like, well, we can't include that. It was obviously actually taken in Africa. It's got to be a picture that looks like, oh, it was taken here. Okay. That's really cool. I like that.
And that's actually a successful photo, though, for the theme, if you think about it.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
a wee tad overdone with the HDR effect.
Yeah.
I think when you add the HDR and then you vignette a little, which it looks like it may have been vignetted a little bit, then it sort of overdoes the HDR.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But good composition.
Little tiki hut.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. We're going to Niagara Falls on Sunday, and in the Bird Kingdom, they have a tiki hut that was actually built, I believe, in like the 1700s or something. Yeah, in Niagara Falls. Interesting, eh?
Cool.
They literally had it moved to there, so it's an old tiki hut, and they're using it. Anyway, well, squirrel.
Another one by Jordan, but this one is actually foreign. So we'll do this one of his, which looks like it was local, and but it's not recent. It was taken in 2013.
What, the airplane one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So cool picture, but disqualified. No.
Now this photo obviously is going to stir up emotions in some people, and I believe Jordan comes from the same thought process as I do on it. I personally don't think that there's any place in any airspace that a plane should be flying with that symbol on it for any purpose in any way, shape, or form. However,
Black hat?
what? Yeah, exactly. That's the symbol I'm talking about. However, I have to give Jordan credit because you have amazing. The photo you were looking for, you achieved. You worked towards getting the right shutter speed and the right settings to make it look the way you wanted it to look. And that is fantastic. So my first glance, and I think same for Darren and Gabriel, our first thought when we saw this shot is, wow, that's really cool. You've got the slow enough shutter speed so that the background is blurred, the props have a little bit of blur to it, but the incredible sharpness on the pilot and all the other detail. So for that end of it, I think it's fantastic. But I think Jordan probably had the same thoughts that I did when he first looked up and realized that, yes, that is a swastika.
Mm-hmm. The other comment I would have with this one is if it were done in black and white, it would not only be locationless, but it would also be timeless.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like, it could have been taken during the incident.
The incident.
As I will phrase it delicately for the interest of the show.
But he kept it incredibly sharp for using a slower shutter speed shooting a moving object.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What are the photo details? Can't remember what I.
So
3/20th of a second.
Yeah, and that's hard to keep it that sharp for a moving object. So he must have been doing some panning.
Yeah, I was thinking that had to be some panning as well.
Yeah.
But great job. He's using a 100 to 400, zoomed into 285, so not even all the way. It must have been quite close, and he must have had a very good vantage point to get that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Here's a very bright sunny day. He shot at 100 ISO to keep the shutter speed as slow as he can. Closed the aperture down to f11 so he'd have a little bit better depth and slower shutter. Excellent choices.
Yeah. Well taken.
I agree. But it's disqualified because it's taken in 2013. Sorry, Jordan.
This one looks like it was just taken today, 6/8/14 at 4:54 p.m.
Well, Marjorie said in her post that she had to do it. She felt rather inspired this week, uninspired, I should say, this week. But she had to make the photo and post it. So first of all, thank you for making the effort and for making a photo when you really didn't feel like it, and yet you still took the time to put the texture. And there's looks like some faded wordage on the side there, and a really interesting feel to it. And Gabriel, you mentioned something about this that you liked.
Um.
How it basically made it feel like it was Italy.
Oh yeah. I mean, you just look at this picture and it just screams Italy. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things I like. I like the position of the bowl. I like the spilling of the pasta. I like just the whole layout and how everything is, the garlic and how everything is composed. I like the reflections, so that the reflections don't give away too much. Yeah, I like a lot about it, but I like the feel. I'm not a huge fan of texture over top of stuff, but it's pretty clean in the middle, and it's just textured around the edges, and that works for me.
Mm-hmm.
She loses 2 points because we can see the potato masher in the reflection of the wine glass.
Oh,
you'd have to be talking to Marjorie to find out what that's all about.
Oh, okay.
She uses a potato masher as a light stand.
Oh, there was something about a potato masher on your photo walk, wasn't there?
Yeah, and then I was saying shoot through the potato masher because my envision of a potato masher was the one like I shot, and then she showed me the one that she's using, which is the newer style one.
Oh, okay. Private jokes. We're not crazy. We were hanging out with the cool kids that day.
No.
All right. So that's all the pictures. There's some great submissions this week.
Excellent. Very good submissions. All right, so let's talk about our winners. Let's go for our third place prize. And do we have a sound effect guy this week?
Yeah, he's a little behind on the stuff here, so.
And we need. And while we're about to talk about this prize, next week's show is going to be on light boxes and shooting with macro light boxes and things like that. So the photo challenge is going to be based on light boxes and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to put it out there for my other two friends on the panel here to start thinking about a really good photo challenge for next week. Okay.
It's already in the notes.
Oh, you guys are so great. I love ya. Love ya. Oh, beautiful. So, third place goes to Rhonda with her picture of the starship.
They're coming to take me away, ha ha ho ho hee hee.
Which one? Love that song. K-Tel rocks. The starships.
Go down.
All right.
The other down. There you go.
The other down. There we go. Rhonda, we just love the creativity and the fun that you put in the photo, and this is why we chose you for our third place prize. All right, and second place this week goes to Marjorie.
So next time she's going to have to set up that shot and shoot it on the hood of a Fiat.
And again, lots of great photos this week, but we have to pick three, and these are the three that we all agree spoke to us the most. So this is second place prize for Marjorie. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And again, second place, you are going to get this amazing lens pen package. So I'm going to see how I can get this to you, Marjorie, and if I can't get it to you, then I'll make sure Blake gets it or somebody else like Darren who hangs out with you.
Yeah, get it to me. Get it to me, and I can get it to her.
There we go. That's what we'll do to get that to you, Marjorie. And, of course, third place that we're giving to Rhonda, you're going to be getting this lens pen here. So you know where to find me, Rhonda, and I'll make sure you get that. And first place this week goes to Chris. And Gabriel, of course, already has that.
Yeah.
And, of course, Chris, you're going to get this amazing lens pen kit where you get the sensor cleaner, the nice cloth that I was talking about where you can clean your camera and everything and wash it. And it's good for over 200 uses and blah, blah, blah. I'm very excited about this stuff. I don't know if you've noticed. And your freelance pen. So
that's great.
Thank you all so much for partaking in our photo challenge. And next week there's going to be one prize package for first place. and the rest of them are just going to be talked about and loved because you guys rock. All right, so the challenge for this coming week is in the notes right in front of me and is brilliant. It's
I did that before I knew what the next week's topic was. So
really,
I'm psychic or psychotic or something like that.
It's like you've got ESPN.
Something with psych. You are definitely.
Yeah, ESPN, that's what I've got.
The photo challenge for this coming week is... Yank me off stage. Soft lighting is the photo challenge for this coming week. Soft lighting. So however you want to do it, that's very fitting. Light boxes, soft lighting, it's definitely a way to get it. Use a diffuser, all kinds of different things, and it could be anything. It's wide open. Have fun with it, guys. There you go. So that's our show.
Foam around a light bulb. I mean, any kind of soft.
What was that?
Tape some foam around a light bulb.
There you go.
Light. Yeah. Huh?
Make sure it doesn't catch on fire.
Yeah. Soft so it doesn't hurt you when you hit somebody with it.
Yeah. Ideally, the light wouldn't be on when you were doing that, but more fun if soft light and then it catches fire and you get a picture of the fireman coming to put out a fire at your house.
Yeah.
They got a new show. Don't ever do that at home.
And when you take pictures of the fire trucks, use a red gel so you can soften the light.
Yeah.
Now we're going crazy. It's too late. The show's been going way too long now, and we're getting giddy. So that's our show so far. Anything else to add this week, guys?
I just saw a couple of cool things in the DP Review news stream. One of them is Photoshop CC is coming up with a new masking feature that's going to put a mask around in-focus pixels.
They released it today.
Oh, they released it today?
It's focus masking, yeah. So if you do a picture that has shallow depth of field, there's a huge CC update today where they announced some new iPad and iPhone apps and like 5 or 6 really cool new features for Photoshop CC. So if you take a picture where it has a shallow depth of field, you can basically just click on the area that's in focus and it'll just automatically mask it.
Perfect for selecting hair because most of the time the hair is in focus, the background isn't, and that'll make the using refine edge sort of a moot point at that stage. If it works, if they haven't mucked up anything else.
I've seen some examples of it, and it seems pretty good.
And I saw that Sony is making a curved sensor. It's about time. I wondered how long it would take them to do that, which means that they can make some less expensive lenses. The color aberration from fringing. Not all light focuses at the same focal length at the same distance.
Right.
So if they curve the sensor, it also will mean that they can change the way that they design the lenses because they have to try to get the light to all hit evenly flat. So the edges, we got to do a lot more bending and pulling of the light. So that could be something new in the future to make lenses less expensive and better quality.
Or make their existing lenses work better.
Well, it's sell you new lenses. It's not probably won't work with any of the new lenses because they wouldn't focus properly. So you'd have to buy one of the new curved lens sensors, just to add another thing, full frame, crop frame, and then curved frame.
So they have their A mount, they have their NEX, they have their new full frame mount, and now they're going to have their curved sensor mount.
Yeah.
Yay, Sony!
Build everything.
Everybody
like
knows.
The Samsung of cameras.
Yeah, everybody knows. I ditched Sony to go Nikon. Their lenses had horrible chromatic aberration. If this fixes it, awesome. But yeah, I wasn't too impressed with my Sony stuff. Just me.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you are.
There I am, right here.
Sony.
So that was the only news. That was the only news that I had. I saw that there was a Lightroom update, but when I've got business and production to do, I don't do updates. I do updates on downtime when if something doesn't work right, I can always unupdate.
Right. Better to make the changes when you have the time.
Adobe has done that to me in the past where they really mucked up the selection tools, and I had to use Photoshop CS6 to open my images to use the selection tools properly. So it has been known to happen.
So this is one of those big updates that everybody's going to be talking about for the next 6 months.
Could be.
Yeah.
cool.
Except for that all the app love was iPhone and iPad only, and there's been no Android love yet, which makes me stabby.
Yes. Because you are Mr. Android.
Well, and a lot of photographers are moving over to Android, because of the abundance of camera functionality and apps, and also what do photographers do? They show off their pictures, and you want to show off your pictures on a screen this size or this size.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's or if you're going with a note, like, about that size, or maybe a little bit smaller. This is a $299 Nexus 7 tablet that you can show your pictures on.
Not an overly priced $500 iPad.
Yeah,
Right.
or
Yeah.
even the iPad Mini is like $400 or so. So
Yeah,
it's
Apple stuff
crazy.
is not cheap. Not
Yeah.
cheap.
So
Thank you, guys. Excellent show. Great discussion. Awesome stuff. There was one thing I forgot to mention that I really want to, and if you haven't done this already, if you have an old point-and-shoot camera that you just don't use anymore or don't like or is broken, don't just throw it away. Tear it apart. Grab the lens out of it, and then put that in front of your cell phone, and that is going to give you a very similar result to the $80 Olo clip. So if you already have these little lenses, you pop that in front of an optic, and it can get ultra wide, it can go fisheye, depending on how you use it, macro. You can do some really cool things. See that? I just pop that in front of the webcam, and I'm getting great macro. Now you all know my fingerprint.
cool.
So something else you can get.
And if you don't have an old point-and-shoot camera, you can always visit your local Henry store, ask them to demo one, and when they turn it on, the lens pops out, you just grab the lens and rip it off.
Even better, go into your local Henry store that has a recycling bin, and I guarantee you there'd be a broken camera already in there that you could probably do that with.
Are you allowed to take stuff out of there?
I don't know if that's official, and I'm probably going to get, beaten with a wet noodle for saying that. But you know what? If you come to see me in Newmarket and I got one of these things, I'm happy to share the wealth, just so you know.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you guys being here. And sorry, Gabriel says he's got my fingerprint. The final part of his plan is complete. That's funny. Okay. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for our viewers for sticking with us. And we'll see you all next week. Don't forget, Soft Light is your photo challenge for this week. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Oh, by the way, before we say goodbye, Darren, where can folks hire you, and where can they get a hold of you?
Down at the bottom, Darren at dgvirtualtours.com. I can shoot up your house. I can teach you how to take photos, teach you how to use Lightroom, teach you how to use Photoshop, teach you a lot of stuff.
And you're good at it. Very, very good. And Gabriel, sir, you've been busy shooting bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, but do you still have time for more business?
I absolutely do. Yeah, if you've got a special event coming up, a wedding, a birthday party, a bar mitzvah, or a bat mitzvah, or a corporate event, or you need headshots or family portraits or anything, anything that involves a camera, I can do it.
You're the man, cool guy.
We'd love to help out.
And BousquetPhotography.ca. Thank you guys so much. And check out our day trips on Daytripperphoto.com. We have the Niagara trip coming up. We have another falconry coming up on July the 13th. And on August 10th, guys, big things happening on August 10th. Another falconry session, but this time my mother's going to be there.
What day is that?
August 10th.
I'll be there for that. I'll leave on the 20th.
My mom is the coolest. Everybody had so much fun. So she loves photography. She lives down in Florida, and she's going to be visiting for the month of August and coming on all the Daytripper sessions. So if you want to get a hint of what made me a lunatic, come on the day trip with my mother. It'll be fun.
If you'd like to have a brief peek into my insanity.
What is me? All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Now we're actually going to say goodnight. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.